everybody, JT Serenity Farms prepping here. So in the past I have done videos concerning the Russians' nuclear capability versus the United States' inability. The Russians have several types of missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that are supersonic, hypersonic, faster than anything that we have. The United States military has been intentionally decimated and weakened that we won't even know if the Russians launch one until we see the mushroom cloud. We stand no chance. Sorry. Okay. Afghanistan was an intentional move by the pedophile regime. $85 billion worth of military equipment that we could have used. Instead, our enemies are using it. Ukraine and the $200 to $300 billion that we know of that's been sent over there, none of it's been used for the Ukrainian people, or a high estimate is 5%. All the military equipment that's going over there, I'm told about 95% of everything that's been sent over there from us and every other NATO country has been resold on the black market. It's not being used. But we sent it over there to weaken our military, not to strengthen anyone else's. Now you combine those two things, and if Russia decides to nuke, and their statements the last couple days have been to NATO countries, if you launch F-16s with nuclear weapons on them, because not every F-16 is capable of carrying one. There's quite a process to make an F-16 payload ready for that particular type of weapon. But Russia told the NATO countries, if you launch F-16s from your bases with nuclear weapons, and Russia will know that they have them, their technology is way above ours, those countries will be nuked. And furthermore, because you got those F-16s from the United States, remember I made a video last week telling you that thousands of C-130 Apache helicopters, all other sorts of military equipment that flies, including F-16s, are being demothballed and sent over to Europe. Poland, or likely, but the Philippines for sure. But because we're supplying them, Putin had said, we will also nuke American bases. Now, very likely they will nuke Air Force bases. And very likely a whole bunch of cesspool shithole cities. DC, the swamp, Virginia, LA, Chicago, New York, Atlanta. And there's nothing, not a single thing we can do to stop them. We would not even be able to fire off any nukes ourselves. Even if we could, Here's what's been happening the last 10 years. Did you know that U.S. missile silos, which are all over the United States and targeted by China, Russia, and North Korea, but nonetheless, all U.S. missile silos are single use. That means they're used one time and they're completely unusable again. Now, back in the day for the Cold War, they figured that was all they were going to need. No country was going to nuke each other because it was mutual destruction. And it was always an unwritten rule. If I nuke you, you're going to nuke me, because the missiles were slow and there was time at least to launch. There wasn't time to stop their missiles from hitting us, but ours would hit them as well. Hence, mutual destruction, so it's been avoided. Well, technology has made mutual destruction singular destruction. Russia can take out anyone they want almost across the entire planet, and no one can respond. They won't even know it's coming. Now, Russia's missile silos are not single use, meaning all they have to do is reload them. But with their nuclear and technological capabilities, which vastly outweigh ours, their multiple use silos will only have to be used once. Estimates by a lot of experts are that it will all be over in 1 hour. Now, you must remember, nobody's coming to our aid, because how do you? Russia launches their hypersonic nuclear missiles. How does another country thousands and thousands of miles away stop that? They can't. We've supported those countries. They wouldn't have what they have unless it was for us to begin with. So, the bottom line is, and the question that you should all be asking, why is the U.S. pushing so hard to get Russia to deploy nuclear missiles? Do they think, the idiots running the show, that Russia's only going to bomb Ukraine and the European countries that are helping? Part of me believes that this regime and the idiots like Victoria Nuland, who has the personal vendetta against Russia, do not care. They are so hell-bent on nuking Russia, they don't care about the consequences to the rest of the world, including their own country. Oh, spoiler alert. All those bunkers, the elites and the beautiful people and these pieces of shit in Washington that they're planning on going hide in, Russia's missiles are bunker breakers. The bunkers were also only built deep enough for the Cold War missiles, not the new and improved bunker busters. You know, part of me is like, take the swamp, put them in a singular bunker, and give Russia the green light. We won't get into cesspool cities and libtards. So, the U.S. is pushing. Russia's made their statements. These other countries realize every country has a singular leader and a small cabal of knuckleheads, just like the United States does, that are doing all this. There are virtually no people, aka citizens, in all the countries that want this. They clearly understand what happens if their knucklehead leaders do this. But Russia, love them or hate them, they're going to do what they have to do to protect their country. The NATO countries, they're not doing this to protect their own countries. They're doing it to protect their own interest. If you think for a second they care about one person in Ukraine, no. It's about all the dirty business they've been all running for years through Ukraine, who wasn't NATO, and they could skirt the rules, all being exposed. The money laundering, the child sex trafficking, the bioweapons labs, the drug running, everything. So, a few days ago I made a video about tanks across America. All sorts of military equipment being driven down the main streets in a few select cesspool shithole cities. We asked the question, why that video? Well, we thought we knew mostly, which we're all pretty right on. It is going to be not in case, of civil unrest from fear and hysteria after cities get nuked. The intel now says the military will shut those cities down, and the experts once again say that a major cesspool shithole city such as New York City can be totally blockaded within an hour so that no one can come in and leave. Of course, it's an island, but there's a reason most major cesspool shithole cities only have 1 or 2, maybe 3 ways in or out. Very easy to shut down. Now, we've seen military equipment moved across America before, but it was usually on flatbeds and rail cars, because military equipment wreaks havoc on blacktop streets. If you've seen a bulldozer with metal treads, then you know exactly what it does to dirt, cement, blacktop, anything it runs over. Why would they be doing that down city streets when they could flatbed them? Urban exercise. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, it's being floated very heavily that those troops are being positioned for a lockdown that is going to occur regardless of whether the Russians bomb or not. And then the food rationing and everything else begins. They want 90% of the population gone. And what better way than to control the cesspool shithole cities who average 10-12 million each? And almost all are unarmed. Out where I live, everybody's got a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we're all spread out, and they don't give a shit about us. Not saying at some point way, way, way down the road, if there were any survivors after a nuclear holocaust, they might come looking. I don't think so anymore. There isn't going to be enough people left. Now, let's add the third factor to our trifecta. Tens of thousands of military-aged men through the Darien Gap down in Panama, being bussed wherever they want to go, put in position by the Democrats, all paid for with our money. There are thousands and thousands of Chinese military-aged men already set all across this country with weapons, thanks to Trader Newsom in California and the Port of Long Beach. There's even rocket launchers and shit inside storage containers that were allowed to be driven all across the United States as well. But they're not targeting Little East Bumfuck where I live. They're all positioned for the big cesspool shithole cities and the bases. So I'm thinking this is what we got coming. Either way, we got it coming. If US and NATO, for some reason, can't get Russia to set off their own nukes, like we've said before, the US or a NATO country will nuke one of their own cities or send one into Russia to get Russia to respond. Knowing full well, once again, that nobody can defend themselves. Don't be surprised if China jumps in on the action, because you got to have one from the west and you got to have one from the east. It would be the United States could surrender within an hour. I also made the video on the Chinese invading on the West Coast and Biden ordering the military to stand down. Everything has been planned. Are you still waiting for those white hats to ride in and save you? Good luck with that. I'm saving myself. Now, right now you're saying, well, if all that shit's going down, why do we store food? Why do we prep? Why are we preparing to try and survive it? Russia doesn't want the U.S. None of the other countries except China want it. There's enough of us that will survive that we can fight. It's inborn in most of us to want to survive. And I know a lot of will do whatever it takes. That's why communications are going to be shut down, so we cannot get together and communicate where to gather, where to go, how to go, that kind of stuff. I'm working on that. I've contacted a very high person who has asked for people that want to get more information about stuff like that. And when I get it, I will pass it on. We need to know. I'm going camping for the weekend and try and forget about the world. Good luck, huh? Good luck to all of you. Get some food as fast as you can. I don't know when shit's going down. You don't either. Let's have it and not need it. www.storagechef.com, SFP15 for your code. Anywhere you want, just get something, please. That's all I got for now. JT, signing out.